Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening, depending on where you live. Welcome back to the OG's Power Hour. We got Johnny's doing his push-ups. I know he is. Can't see him, so he's down in the.
I'm trying. Actually, I'm doing them. It's not trying. I'm doing push-ups.
Exactly. You're doing like 250 push-ups, squats, and sit-ups a day or something.
250 crunches this morning, 250 sit-ups this morning, and a couple hundred push-ups a day. Oh yeah, that's right too. That's what we're doing. OG Power, come join us. We're here right now.
So we're talking about what is driving you to grow, and we've actually already had some comments. Mad Dog saying hi, but he says I can't afford it, so he's growing 2 for pain and 3 for hobby. Dead folk, let's see, Ganja checking on the ladies and getting a bowl ready for the hour. Dead folk is what drives me to grow is the reflective teaching lessons like patience, concern, curiosity, using a more holistic view. I mean, goes on, but forward more life than sorrow and destruction.
Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, that's what he was saying. And he wants to be a breeder of autoflowers, hardy, easy growing medicine for growers of all levels, but have to get confident and learn what a healthy, happy plant is so I can truly acknowledge the gems. And you want to learn from Mr. Toad on breeding because Tony's got a brain like holy chitlins when it comes for breeding, right?
And with autos, it takes a lot of work to get the seed stock to represent as one thing. It takes actual breeding, something that a lot of the cannabis community isn't really doing. They're just crossing two things and telling you, you'll find this in the seeds. With autoflowers, you've got to breed multiple different traits into them. So it actually takes some work and a few generations to get that to actually show up.
Yeah. Well, and like there's so much to breeding that most people never even consider, and it's not just an easy thing to do. Like it's taken John how many decades to really breed for the Medi Kush what he wants, and Tony the same with you. You've been breeding for decades, and really sussing out the different information, the different effects of the different strains that you're growing, and combining those is really what is the breeding project is about, to give the results that you're seeking from your breeding project.
That's it.
And Dead Folks says, yeah, long-term plan, worth the work, got the rest of my life. Exactly. It can be a lifelong project. Tony, how long you've been breeding for? What, 40 years, close to that now?
I've been growing for over 40. I've been breeding since 1996.
Okay.
So what's that? For 28 years.
Yeah, you got skills. I just been growing since '88.
I started growing when I was 8 years old. My uncles taught me how to fucking clone plants in the backyard, doing air layering technique on the plants we were taking up to the patches to fucking grow up in Humboldt. So I learned here. They were like, either get the fuck away from us or do some work. Which one do you want to do? And I didn't like playing with all the other kids. Like I was bigger than everyone. I was a fat boy. People just made fun of me and shit. So hanging out with the adults, that shit never happened to me. So I just was like, I'll learn to clone. So I was always trying to figure out what the adults were doing, so I didn't have to be treated like a punk with the rest of the kids around here. So that's what got me.
Still a punk.
I know I'm still a punk, but I don't need everyone else pointing that out to me all the time. So.
Oh, we love you, Tony. What are you doing there, Johnny? You're playing with papers there.
Yeah, I moved some stuff around so I can use the mouse, and I'm doing all kinds of fun stuff here.
So sorry, Tony, I cut you off, and now I'm cutting John off to get back to Tony because he was still saying something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, growing's easy if an 8-year-old fat boy can do it. Everybody can do it. Grab a book and plant, get to it.
It doesn't take too much to grow. You just got to be disciplined. You have to stay dedicated. It's called doing it every day, and that's what growth comes into play. If you want to be a good grower, be disciplined.
Mhm. Well, and that's one of the things. If you're not going out into your garden every day and you're not watering your plants, they're not going to survive too damn long. So you better be disciplined.
Well, that's the whole idea. It's with anything in life. If you have a baby, you just can't leave it at home and go to work. Right? You have to look after the baby.
Yeah. And like Ganja Man says here, you got to plant the seed. Just start.
Yeah. You need to. It's called. You have to do it. You have to step on the demands of the moment and been great now to design that life that you deserve and do it. Jump in. Yeah. What's the worst you could do? Fail? Oh, well. And then you get to what? Learn.
You get to plant more seeds.
20% of the problem, 80% of the solution, where you're looking at things, right? So, I mean, what's the best way of accomplishing and what you want to get and what you're trying to achieve? As I'm looking at buying a car, we're not going to talk about what kind of car. I'm just saying I need a car. I got my truck back.
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't work. The running lights are still on. The steering wheel is unlocked, so I got to take it back. I said, bring it back on Thursday. I'm like, what do you mean bring it back next Tuesday? I'll drop it off. I'll see you later. Thank you.
Yeah. And Cindy is right. Learning from scratch is harder than I thought, but that's where, shows like ours, the amount of content that John has put out on his personal channel, but Tony's been putting out for decades as well, is that foundation to learn where to start from and how to get going. Like, I watched John's videos for probably, 6 months before I ever decided to plant a seed and get going, because so I had a little bit of a base of knowledge first. Hey, Manderson.
Thank you, Ken. I want to acknowledge you for that. You know what? Because it does take that time. And I was talking with another friend of mine, Dusty, and like he said, he watched the one video on dry sifting Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 4 days. And he said, I watched it like 30 times until I got it. That's what all these things are for, as Mr. Toad does. We all do things here. Ken's got a ton of information on his channel, and you can just watch that one bit of information. You're not going to learn it the first time around. Maybe not the second. You got to speak it out loud, read it, and do it. I'm implementing. I learned something yesterday, implemented it right away. I created my own custom. I got my own. Right now, I got John Berfelo Official Virtual Assistant. John Berfelo Official. So this will be on my websites by the end of today.
Cool.
So now I lost you guys. Damn.
John's got way too much.
I have a virtual assistant that will go to websites, and you can, and it's all me. It's me.
Yeah.
Knows me and watching my videos. It knows my contacts. It scoured the internet. All you guys out there, put all your fake accounts. Thank you. Keep faking me because you gave me a lot of information. Because there's not one of me. There's 271 of me.
Well, and you're all cute. I swear, John. And Cindy, I don't know what's going on, how you lost your Pembroke River, but yeah, I'm glad you're here though. So good to see you.
And what's great about this is we can use all these technologies to keep growing forward. And that's what it's about, is understanding and learning and sharing that information and get that knowledge out there so people can utilize that knowledge. But it's called repetition, utilization, integration, reinforcement. It's why Mr. Toad's got so many seeds. He's been repetizing. He's been doing it since 1995. You've been doing this longer than most people I know in breeding. And you're doing it from a chair and getting things done and stepping up. And you can do anything you want. Just believe in where you grow. So plant that seed of growth. Plant that where you want to go with it and take it to that next level. Matty Cush took me around the world. I said that 2005, planted those seeds after my fall, my accident. It took 19 years to get to where I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. Guess what? It hasn't even happened yet. I'm just still getting there because every day we learn and we grow more and we understand. Because as things change, and I anticipated if things got worse, I'd be able to access what we have. And you guys are the ones creating that new access. You have the ability to do that with legalization here in Canada and around the world. It's happening.
Yeah.
So in Thailand, you hear what's going on with the US. It's happening anywhere. So just give it time. Jump into something. If you truly want to be involved in an ecosystem that helps you grow and it's surrounded by like-minded individuals, and go do what you love to do. Chefs hang around with chefs. Lawyers hang around with lawyers.
Mhm.
Growers hang around with growers. All right.
Gotta love JB's glass half full stance, you know.
It's always half full. It's not half empty, it's half full.
Yes. Yeah. There's always a will if you're willing to actually take the time to do the work and get it done. Like I know that okay, you say you're in a state where you can't grow cannabis, you can start growing different plants. You can start your soil growing so that when you do have the ability to grow, you have all the foundation done by growing other plants. And then you can get into the cannabis plant and really get wonderful results because you know what you're doing.
I had someone send me a message today and he's growing basil. And he's got such shit, and he's growing it in a tent. And he goes, the best thing about basil goes, there's no regulations. I can sell it to anybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's killing it because that's what he wants to do. He wants to supply someone without the hassle, without all this stuff. So make things easier. Don't make things harder on yourself. So think before you do.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking before you make a commitment. As I'm sitting here going over all the prices of the car I'm looking at, I know all the mileages, I know what I'm looking at, I'm looking at the efficiency, I'm looking at all these things. Wow, here's one here for 28,000, mind you. It's got like 250,000 K on it, so that's not going to work out that well. So I'm understanding prices right now. You can hear me going over things, you know, what's going on. So, I mean, these cars are cheap now. I'm just blown.
Yeah. It's a lot of the electric cars, they can't even sell them, you know, because nobody is buying them, you know, for the cost of power nowadays. You know, you can't afford to charge the damn thing.
Well, you got free charging stations all over the country.
Yeah.
So
but then that's in Canada. There's a lot of places in the US where it's not free. You got to put your credit card in and you got to pay for that.
Yeah. And in the cold down here, a lot of people are having issues with the chargers actually working. People's cars don't want to charge once they hit a certain temperature on the battery, so they're having issues with that around here. They'll see what's up. They just got to add a heater to them.
And you're cold. You're in California. You're not cold.
No, not here, but like in Colorado in the wintertime, back east, you're literally shit out of luck if the battery freezes, any kind of battery. It's not just an electric vehicle. Like my gas vehicle's got a battery. If it drops below freezing for too long, it freezes and now it can't turn on. And if you're reliant on that to be your energy source, it could be a while before you start it up. At least with a gas vehicle, you could just change out the battery with a warm battery or heat it up with a heat blanket and start the vehicle. That's some things that a lot of people aren't actually paying attention to with them around here.
Well, like Ganja says here, as Tony said, here in Chicago, we had minus 35 wind chills and hundreds of Tesla were stranded at charging stations.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to dissuade you, John, from buying a Tesla in any way, shape, or form.
No, this is that's electric. You just got to understand that. And not just electric, but uses a battery. Gas vehicles are the same way. You've got to be careful with what you're doing in the ultra cold air.
Depending what you're trying to achieve and what you're looking for. So as I get a class 4 license right now, I take a look at what's going to be best suited for me so I can drive passengers and stuff like that. It's a simple test. I've had a license for my whole life. I want to get a class 1 license. I used to drive truck, but I never did it properly. So, I mean, I just look at things. 77,000 kilometers is low kilometers. Right? They're based on 220,000 kilometers per year. They have an 8-year shelf life. They have warranties until this long, blah, blah, blah. What's all going on with cars? What's happening with gas? What's happening with inflation? Mortgage rates are at 9% right now, right? So are they going to go up? They're saying they're going to go down. Can we stay where we are? It's the same thing with growth. What are you growing? And what's sustainability around the strain that you're growing? And where are you growing it? What are you using to grow it with? We're seeing mixed spectrum seems to be killing it right now. Some people like it because they don't have to heat the room. So they're playing with things, right? And when we look,
explain mixed spectrum for people, John.
Mixed spectrum using LEDs and HPS lights.
Yeah,
using a mixed spectrum. And what they're using the heat from the gasket that's penetrating. We have this talk about the penetration going into the ground from the sun. It's got far red, penetrates deep into the earth. That's why you get certain things. Where with HPS bulbs, those gases are probably, we're just all hypothesized here right now. We're all hallucinating different things and trying to take a look at how can we get more out of this. Well, just along with the light recipe that I changed, and then what I did to that one plant. Because by the way, the same plant that I did all the foxtailing with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was like crazy light recipe and like, oh, that's this, that. No, it's a complete light recipe. It had nothing to do with the strain. Because the strain itself, when we smoked it with Rick Delisio, Rick Delisi is Delisio brand. Everybody knows Rick probably. Hopefully you guys do. If you don't, look him up. He's awesome. His dad spent 18 years in jail. Simply a little bit of marijuana, was released through the prison projects, and is just a free man. You saw him do the stuff with burner and stuff like that. We won't get into those details, but we'll talk about.
Yeah, nice. Let me bring that up on a larger screen there, John.
Oh, so yeah. And it's squished because I stuffed under the seat, as you can see. But this is Medicam, so I'm gonna call. I don't haven't even get a name yet. And my buddy goes, oh, and we smoke this. He goes, well, give me that. This has got a flavor. Even Rick tasted it. Is so creamy and cushy. And it's like a chem kush. I did the Bubba Chem cross that we lost that phenol, lost that mother, and this gun came back stronger.
So this Chem's breed nice.
Pardon me, those
Chems breed very nice. The Chem 4 crosses I did some Chem 4, Chem 91, and Chem D crosses this year. Did some cushes, and they coming out delightful. Everybody's smoking them and like them.
Wow, just delightful. I'm just like really impressed with that. I'm like, And then I have the other one that we spent 3 years on, 4 years on. It's around here somewhere, and that one came back really nice too. And it's just got that different clear head. So two completely different night and day strains. One's like, and the other one's like, boom, and like, boom, I'll clean the house, sweep around, and it's got this amazing flavor. So it's always having fun. It is. I'm not doing this for any reason except for to keep genetics for myself, and if I ever need them, I have my own seeds.
Yeah,
everything was illegal, and Norris were getting kicked in. We were losing all our shit. Now it's just legal, so it makes no difference. It's like everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and
you growing some of my stuff out there too. But Brent, he's got some of my my moms that I use, my OGs. He just harvested my Ghost of Boneyard.
Cool. So Ganja Man saying Chem Dog bag seed from a Grateful Dead show and boom, history. Yeah. Well, that's Medi Kush. That was a bag seed. Yeah.
Just made history. It's the same thing. And then we talk about that Grateful Dead concert where things made history.
Mm-hmm.
Dog. And what's really nice about that is when you go to a Fish concert, right?
Oh, nice. Let me bring that up.
There's a piece
at a Grateful Dead.
At a Grateful Dead concert, guys.
Yeah.
This was made at a Grateful Dead concert. And this was another legend. This is like one of those unique little things that you just get a chance to hold on to and be a part of the history. There you go.
How many people actually worked on that, John? It was multiple.
4 or 5 people that worked on it. I even talked with Slinger about it. I was like, did I just hit something?
Now, don't be breaking nothing, John. And Getaway Sounds, what drives me to grow is helping people with medical needs and chanting down the Babylon system of chemicals, Monsanto grow BS. I agree with that.
All these little things that we can help ourselves out with, and where things kind of lie, and the best thing to do things. Wow, it's really it's the medicinal aspects of a lot of these strains. I just got glass in when I broke my TY bong. I'm not gonna be happy. I'm gonna admit that. I haven't told anybody yet, so it just happened. So my second place trophy was sitting right here, and the phone rang, and I moved out of the way, and I kicked it over and broke it. I was like,
oh man. So I know why I grow is because price was a big part of it, and then the other thing was I wanted to create the best medicine for me because it's going into my body.
There you go.
So, John, why did you start to grow?
Well, why did I start to grow? Well, because for one, I want to smoke weed, and it was 1988, and it was illegal as fuck. I couldn't get it, so I started growing it because I was paying a fortune. I was pawning my CDs. It's coming out in the story of Johnny B. Like really, I mean, I started growing, and it was like 88 was our first outdoors playing with clones and stuff like that. Was 86, 87. That would have been at Greg's house. That was on Post Meridian and Oxford Street. John Phillips' house. I'm gonna say his name. What the hell? I love you, brother. Went around the crease to Craig's place with my buddy Brent, and then Craig was growing the old school hash plants. So I'm like 16 years old, 15 years old. So let's put the timeline on that. I'm 52. I was born in 71, 86.
Mm-hmm.
I was growing out, and I was in 91 when I got hit head on by the dump truck, and I had my first indoor. I was growing outside in 88. So there you go. There's my time frame. I've been growing for a long time.
Yeah.
Why did I grow? Because I wanted to use cannabis for what I was going through, which as you get older, we all have different disabilities or different ailments, what we're going through. And I needed to supply my endocannabinoid system, and my body knew that. So I was supplying it with the proper, let's say, cannabinoids for it, so I could not be on all these other pharmaceutical drugs. And when they put me on the pharma years later from my fall of 28 feet on the concrete and being hit head on by a dump truck and all these little traumas I've gone through, and they're not little. They've been life-changing events that have happened that have had to completely change my lifestyle, everything, because life conditions changed. I had to change my blueprint.
Yeah.
This blueprint always led me back to a plant that was able to help me deal with what I needed. And it was hard to get. So I created it. And then we manifested legalization on November 17th, 2012, Jason Wilcox and myself.
Yeah.
We manifested with Dr. Hornby. We're going to separate the cannabinoids and have them in different ailments and have them in stores so we can have them at goods and tropicals and everything. That was written in 2007. I got in a book. And here we are today. So why do I grow? Did I give you kind of a small little reason why I grow there?
Just a little one, John. Just a little one. And it's a damn good reason.
Being to feel good, feel significant that I have what I need for myself. At the same time, giving the information to others that they can do the same thing for themselves, which is a simple plant medicine. It's about holistic health, natural healing, cannabinoid therapy. That's pretty much what I talk about. And as we move into the next phase of being to help the football stars and the hockey heroes, because they've all gone through these disabling injuries like I have and like yourself and people here. And we can get that by simply looking at how we can grow forward with a simple plant. It got me out of bed. It pulled me out of a wheelchair. It connected me with the community. It gave me love and connection. Oh, here we go. 6 human needs. You ready for it? Come on. It gave me certainty, and you can hear that in my voice. It gave me uncertainty, variety. And the uncertainty, variety back in the day, boy, was a chase. It was like going to jail. It was just like all kinds of crazy things that you wouldn't get from it. But the reward was worth the risk. The reward was worth the risk. And look at the rewards I get today. I get significance. I feel fantastic that what we've done together as a community, as one, as a whole moving forward. I get love and connection. So much love and connection with all of you guys. So now I've met my 4 human needs. But there's 6 human. They said there's 6 needs in our life, and the other 2 needs are our spirit needs. Cannabis helps me grow. And when you grow it, you want to contribute. So, I mean, yes. Why do I grow? Why am I in the community? Because it meets my 6 human needs. It gives me all these likely things. And then I'm going to get spam calling me, so I'm going to lose the screen. I can't see anything. And that's the joys and love of life, of what we get. I made a choice when I was like, I don't know, like 12 years old. I told my dad I was going to do this legally and sell it when I got older. I was going to live in $1 million house, have a serious system, and I'd be famous.
And you've achieved it all. What do you got there, Tony?
Isn't that beautiful? You know what's famous? That plant. That's what's famous. It's the plant that we love so much. That's what grows everything and everywhere. Look at how beautiful that is. That
Yeah.
is what we fight for. That is what we drive for. That is what we grow for. We're not famous. The plant brings us what we need. It is the famous. It is the fame. It's a fuel. It's a food. It's a fiber. And it's our medicine, guys. It's going to change this world 100%. It gives the energy we truly need to grow forward. And the energy it gives back is just so amazing. Think of the transfer of energy back and forth between a plant and what it does for humanity around the world the green way. I keep saying it over and over and over again. Why? It's in a pufferfish. It's in every living mammal. It's in everything. Right? It's just going to be like, you're going to call me how many times in a row? Stop it. I guess I should check the phone. Why you call me 5 times in a row?
So
Yeah,
that
so
picture I
Gandhi,
just showed was a picture grown by a person on Instagram that had picked up some of my gear. That's my space cheese back cross #2. So it's Ghost of Mary Jane times space cheese. So it's Ghost OG, space cheese, and space cheese.
yeah.
Check out Matt Peters' art feature. What is that? Ken knows how this is what happens when I go to do a push up, and then I just walk away, and 3 hours later, it's still like trying to upload.
Yeah.
Matt Powers.
I have to walk around.
Yeah, Matt Powers is putting on the Regenerative Future. He's got great speakers, so you can check him out on LinkedIn, guys. Instagram, the Permaculture Student. He's really, really a fascinating man with a head full of knowledge like no other. He's right into the DNA, deep into the biology and understanding how the biology functions in plants, and it's the same biology in us, so it's helping us as well. But yeah, Matt Powers is an amazing guy.
That stuff helps us.
Yep.
It definitely does. Oh, wait a second here. I just got a video.
They're sending you videos.
Love it.
Mind blowing. Yep, definitely. The week-long regenerative farming conference. There was so many different speakers, so much knowledge, and it's all about regenerative. That's where we're trying to be regenerative in growing our cannabis, so that we're not having to pay for all these specialized inputs all the time, but our soil and biology is doing the job, and we're just feeding our soil. We're feeding our biology. It's the biology's job to grow the plant. We just got to grow the biology.
Mother Earth.
Yep. Yeah. And we work with Mother Earth instead of working against her. As long as we're not using, things that are harming the biology is going to do some amazing, amazing things.
We are biology. It's who we are.
Yeah, these physical forms were made of biology.
Yeah. Everything is created out of one source.
Mm-hmm.
It all stems from one source. Everything around you was created out of motion, was created out of thought. And that thought and that motion comes from the biology that's being created underneath of our feet.
Yeah.
Life. And there's a form of thinking stuff that within deep thought is another creation of thought. And that's where things stem from. It was from inside of thought itself. And it's come from creation. Creation comes from out of motion. Motion is created from creating an image. Right? Think is to create. The think is to create. It's how we got the growth. It's how we got our seeds. It's how we got everything we have with us, is because we've thought about it first before we created it. Saw a vision before it became a reality. Like AI and everything that's coming into light now. These are all things we've seen through time, and it was just a matter of time before things happened. So what are you planning? What is your future? What do you see for yourself? What's your future vision? What's your growth? When are you growing? How are you growing it? Right? Don't look at how, look at who's going to help you grow it. Right? Because that's why you're here. You're getting the who and not the how. Because the who is going to do where you need to be. The how is going to be caught in the tyranny of how.
Mhm.
You know those people who are not going anywhere? How am I gonna do? I'll just sit here and watch TV instead. Well, I don't know how. Because you're never going to know until you jump into who's going to help you. It's the peer group of people that push you. So find a peer group of like-minded individuals that are going to push you, not be your friend, but are going to push you and be your acquaintance. Are going to give you that push that you've never been pushed before. That's why I call it the push-up challenge. Now I got all these guys, 2,000 push-up challenge starting for mental health in February. I love it. I'm sharing it like crazy.
Cool.
You guys should be pushing your life every day. So you can go to that. It's on Facebook. It's the 2,000 push-up challenge between February 1st and February 21st. 2,000 push-ups in 20 days. I'm like, well, that's not too hard.
Well, for you, maybe.
In those times, but that's okay. And I'm broken. Here's the whole thing. It is because when I do 20, yeah. Don't forget, I broke my neck in 4 places, shattered my 15, broke my back, shattered my ankle. I got major problems, major injuries, and it's the push-up that keeps me alive.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see me doing too much else. Physically, I'm having problems growing. That's why you guys don't see me growing anymore because of my fine motor skills from the last accident when I got T-boned at 80K, and ICBC said there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
I guess I don't complain enough, right? I'm supposed to crawl on the ground and whine and scream and play like a baby. And that's where I got work before, and I screamed and held sign and protested down the road. I got what was rightly deserved. And now that I'm not doing anything because I'm more looking at the sense of accomplishment to get to where you are is to consume what you grow. Exactly. It's beyond amazing. Such a great feeling. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You are the best grower in the world when you grow and consume your own cannabis. I don't care what anybody says. You are the best. It is the best because you grew it for you.
Yeah.
You put your own hard work and energy into something that you want to consume for yourself. You push through your limiting beliefs and you said yes. Like Tony just did. Right? You push up.
There's a question for Tony. Mr. Toad, are you still doing your push-ups?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm still working out. I was doing reps last night.
Wait, you know one thing is never stop. Why would I want to stop when I feel this good?
Mm-hmm. Well,
right?
And that's the same with growing.
Because I didn't feel good in the morning after drinking. When I was a kid, it was funny. I hung over. I was like, yeah, I'm hungover. Then you get over like, fuck, I'm hungover. This feels like shit. And you start smoking weed. Like, this is a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, you know, the thing is you take a look at. Here you go, Ken. It's all about the biology.
You damn right it is.
Right? And then there's different parts. So here's John's called Freedom Point, freedom from healing. Right? Mm-hmm. Gotta take a look at the haunted places in the world. Because I can tell you right now, guys, we're not alone.
They're here.
All right, so take a look at what we're looking at. It's from table to earth, from earth to table.
Yep.
And it's all about those edibles that you grow so much and love.
Yep.
Because when we get down to it, it's all about how the body works. Boom! How'd you like how that was planned out? Yes!
Hey, man, it was like you had that set up beforehand or something, you know.
I know, and I don't. It's just my life. This is what I believe in. This is who I am.
Yeah.
So this is what you get from John. You get freedom points. You get about looking at plant medicines and edibles. We take a look at, we're not alone because we're together as one, as a unit to move forward as a whole. Right? Mm-hmm. We all come from one source. So, and we got given this life, this gift, your heart that you got, that energy is a gift that you get to give back to others. We got given a gift, life. I know it's present to me every day from what's happened, and I just keep looking forward. And these books that push me, and it's the people like yourself that drive each other, because we drive to be better and greater, and where we become.
Mm-hmm.
It's right on. Well, you know what? And then I could just really, if I really want to get into it, then I still have. I got to get into now the ganja. All right, and you're gonna like this. So here's all the ganja right here. We got that book coming up. And if all those fails, guys, you need a little bit of classic rock and roll. There you go. There's the books that sit in front of me. Last two.
Well, and hold on. Where's that one that you wrote? And you're working on another one, right?
Yeah, that would be curing cannabis, and I look at the Bovida experience and what I've been able to obtain by looking at water activity in cannabis and the levels. Now I wrote it, and it was it's 61 pages, and I put it into AI to try to rewrite it, do some third things. It messed it all up pretty badly. I'm not happy with it whatsoever, so I'm rewriting it, Tom. And I had to add things to it because then when you got into it, like, well, shit, I should add this and that. Now it's getting longer, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to get it by 2024. So that's the goal. That's the aspiration. And my VA needs it. She says I need to have it finished in the next 2 weeks so then she can put it into the proper formats. And then I'll probably talk with Ed Rosenfeld and talk about going through a publishing through his company because it'd be more of a better fit for the people and getting it to more people instead of self-publishing. Self-publishing is great. It's on Amazon. I sold over 600 copies so far. Most people never sell over 1,000 copies. So I'll get there because I'm giving away 400 this month. I'm kidding.
Well, and somebody's waiting for a book on Johnny B's life story too, you know.
Well, that's the whole nother course because when we start talking about, Johnny B and when life started, I mean, it's a journey. It's a journey of healing because life is a journey and we're always healing from some type of pain or trauma or understanding what we go through. And the journey of life is a healing process because we're always in healing form. And with life, our body allows us to heal in so many different ways. Our emotional mind, our subconscious mind, right? And then there's the internal component, there's the external, and then there's the intimate. So where is everything? Because as I'm talking, someone can talk to me right now. You can say over top of yourself while you're talking because you have these incantations in your head. That's that intimate you talking to yourself all the time. No matter what you say, you can scream, talk like there's someone talking. That's that intimate you speaking to you. And that intimate you is your own beliefs. It's your roles and goals. We talk about your global beliefs. Oh, it's right too. You're not involved with the 42-day journey. If you were, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And how we transform lives in 42 days by stacking what we're talking about here every day. If you watched our shows that we watch here every Monday, and you went back and you decided to watch every one of the Monday shows for last year and you want to do it in a weekend, that would be an immersion. And you would come out thinking completely different about the OG Power Hour because all the stacking of the information that's been given to you over the last year will stack to where you are today. It's getting your information on a weekend.
Yep. Hey, we're in season 3 of the OGs now, right?
I know.
So Tony, a book about Tony's life story would be equally fascinating, you know. So, there's a thought, Tony.
Yeah, maybe.
There's no maybe. It's gonna happen. He smiled, so he likes it. So that means it's gonna happen.
You can't hear me?
We can hear you, but your volume's low again.
What's going on here? Let me check this audio.
When we before the show, Tony's volume was low. He reset it, and now it's happened again. So there's a ghost in the machine. We're not alone. Yes,
that should be better.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
so. Have you started writing it, Tony? Or your life story?
I wrote parts of it down,
and John, he's got parts of his life story spread around his house. He's been writing for decades. He's just got to compile it now. And I think that's going to be the fun thing to watch his brain melt as he goes, I actually did that? Oh, yeah, I kind of do remember that.
Yeah, I did that.
The trio's life story. Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
I'm watching what happens. This is what we happen. So I just open up my phone because it messed me. And there's a cat inside of this drain.
Oh, Jesus.
Because people flush cats out. The people are pathetic, right? They're just so whatever what they do with kittens. And this guy hears it, and he pops it out. And
here comes Kitty. Oh, and he's a cute one, too.
Right? And the whole thing is life is survival. It's a healing journey. And no matter where you are, and no matter who you are, you're always going to want to survive. Like that plant that you planted and you grow. And it's growing and it comes in and out and goes around. It just finds that way to grow and just live and grow like you. And that gives you that growth. So watching that plant grow, and if you're not a grower, and if you are a grower, just really sit down and be intimate with your plant and just watch it grow and see the life that it gives you. Because life is everywhere.
All life is precious. Yeah.
All, and it's all very precious. That's why I was showing you the life of that kitten being rescued, because that life was precious. And I just wanted to, if I see it get its head, I was just like, meow, meow. That seed growing to the sin, you know, we're all there. And then, you know, and we get a short time here. Everything does. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever.
Not even a mountain.
Not even a mountain. Right?
Yep.
So as we grow into our future selves with that plant that we're growing, and seeing that seed grow, and seeing how it just kind of how it grows, how it sprouts, how it gives it the different flavor, it gives it a different life. Cheers, brother and sisters. You know, what's great about what we do here is we can always look towards our future and see that vision of amazingness. I manifested that right there. Turn into everything over there. Yeah. Now the next phase, the next focus is really helping the true people who need help, and understanding on pharmaceutical drugs, their true needs, and lifelong care, dealing with traumatic pain or injury. We call it the green way of life. Holistic health, natural healing, cannabinoid therapy. When your life condition changes, you lose your career, everything. What's your next phase? Where's your next focus? Starts with a seed of growth, your growth, and how you grow into that new you.
Yeah.
Because when your blueprint changes, I say when your life condition changes, you have to change that blueprint.
Yeah. Well, I know that like you've been hit, you know, several times in vehicles. I know when I drove or drank that glass of water and my ulcer burst and I dropped to my knees, that instant my life changed, and nothing has been the same since then, you know, and I've had to move forward from that. And John, you've had the same thing. Tony, he's had the same thing, where we've had to pick ourselves up off the floor, get through that pain and carry on. And we've made the conscious choice, you know, to be positive people, to be happy people, to help others, not just ourselves. That's why we're here today on this show, and why we show up on Mondays. It's not for us, it's to help others to grow and learn and succeed, and, you know, find that pain relief that they need, whether that's a physical, a mental, an emotional. It's all growing together, and it's a synergistic relationship between all of the physical, the mental, and the emotional. And it's a wonderful thing that I'm able to be here with two amazing men that have had the same types of life experiences and have found the same desire to help others. You know, I'm truly honored to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Ken, you're a blessing. And you know what? There you go. This was sitting on top of the laptop. There's the and then we get into the other books, right? Yeah. Back pain. And then Ken knows this one, because I say it every morning. Wonder where I get it from, eh?
Critical thinking, the systematic evaluation and formulation
of
what's that?
Statements of beliefs or statements by rational standards.
Still working on that one. Still working on it.
Then I get into hydrofarm growing tools. The greatest mysteries revealed. And then down to the last one, the whole catalog of seeds.
Yep.
So, I mean, be great at what you love and do what you do. And when you have the books around you, is the ones that really show you who you are. And critical thinking is really the most important part of life. Thinking before you make commitments.
Yeah.
All right. Must think before you make commitments, and then weigh out the options. Like, now I need a class 4 driver's license.
Yep.
So how long is that going to take? Do I have to stand in a lineup for 3 or 4 months or 6 months?
Oh, that's Tony's mom. I'm hearing a woman's voice in the background, and it's not Lily's. Oh.
Well, you know, I'm just creating another future income with the Tesla. It's going to be an Uber.
Yeah.
Why? Well, because we have a 420 Airbnb and people going back and forth to the airport. So I do an executive Uber. So it's only signed on when I click on it. So I'm learning all these new skills, right? And we have certain people that need ride shares who become part of that. And then we give them the discount and then we do a package. The whole thing is packaging to other corporations and then you do rent my ride. So when I'm doing my events, because it's not really my car, it's what we call a lease or a finance. Nothing's ever yours. I'll tell you that. You know what's what's yours? You. This is what's yours.
Yeah.
It's what you get in life. Everything else comes and goes. Like my TY bong I broke, or ex-wife.
And sometimes it's better if she goes. No,
I mean it's not better if we go. It's just that things life and everything at one time or another will leave. Everything will leave you. Everything will leave you, and everything will gain from that too. And when you leave this world, you don't leave with a bunch of, you leave alone and you come. Some people won't, but you're mostly, it's where life is. It's beautiful. I love it. Reflect and see how far we can truly become. I manifested something that's happening right now today. How about that? So I take it to the next level where we can become.
Well, and that's all about growing, because it's not just about growing plants or animals. It's about growing us, both mentally, physically, and emotionally.
It is about growing yourself, because without growing your mental mind and your mindset, how are you going to grow your life or anybody else's life or even a plant's life? Yeah. So people who don't grow good, their mindset's bad. Or people, what they're doing, like they just can't get it. Like they just can't get it. They just can't, no matter which way, they just never figure it out. They spend years doing it. I've done so many different things with growing. I've won cups. I've done great things with the plant. And I was talking about that to somebody else. Just keep going. Kevin Godfrey was in town. Godfrey. I missed him. And I was stuck at home, and I went to it. So the 20th, I flaked on it. I went to another meeting, and I spent all day writing a letter to somebody. That's pretty important to me. So it worked out good because it wasn't missing out. And the Heady Happenings was another great weekend that happened. I didn't have a vehicle. I was just acknowledging all the great things that they're doing for the people there. And I saw all the great people get together. Some of the bigger names. It's like, wow, I got Scott Depping, got some guy from Mother. It was just beautiful to see that on the pictures. And we all got to be a part of that because we have this thing called Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, whereas before we didn't get to see any of these things, right? We didn't even know how to do anything because there was no way of seeing it or understanding it. Now there's knowledge, information's everywhere, guys. They're full of information. Knowledge. That's something that Toad has, Tony has, something that you have. You get it with time. You get it with energy. You get it with discipline and dedication. So you guys think you got knowledge at 19 and 20? I love you. Totally, completely. It was really great to talk to a 19-year-old last night and help her with her new knowledge, because I can cut off 10 or 15 years of that life that you have to live because we've already lived it. And we don't want to listen to the older people. I listen to them. They've helped me get to where I am. Now I'm trying to talk to the 90-year-olds because they're getting out of here pretty soon. They got some pretty good stuff. They're senile. It's pretty cool. They just talk. No, I'm kidding. Give me some of that weed.
Yeah. It's an amazing journey that we've been on, and sometimes it's like I wake up and I go, geez, I'm still here. I've survived this long. I just got to keep going and keep growing and keep learning. And the more I learn, the more I understand how little I actually know. That's where talking to the people that have been doing something for decades really does make a difference. I'm muting you, John, because we're hearing your torch, but Tony, you've been doing and growing and experiencing, and you weren't always into growing for other people. It was more, there was other reasons. When you changed to really focusing on helping others, how do you think that changed you and your reason for growing?
It gave me the drive that I always needed to continue to do the research, to put in the time. When I felt like stopping, there was always a reason to not stop because of those people. like my grandfather and all the people I met in the clubs that aren't here any longer. Like every time someone passed away, you wanted to do something more to try to affect people that were in the same state or entering into that stage so that they would have a longer life or a better life.
Yeah.
Any form of positivity, any way you can give it to someone. If you can realize that somebody's into growing plants, if they like cannabis, I learned I could help them. There's a lot of people like myself. It just sucks that we had to come across it for sick folks instead of just like, I like getting high. Because then you got a friend for life instead of having a friend for a moment. But when you have a friend for a moment, it makes you dedicate your life to those moments. So for me, it changed me to look at things from a perspective outside of my own. Not just my own grandfather was sick or my mother was sick, but you got a mom too. All right. So if I could talk to you about her, or she could come in and talk to me about what's happening, we could put something together that would help her out, even if it was just growing the plant. Or like, some like my mom, she loved baking. Me having her get into the business as being the baker, like she always said it was the happiest times of her life doing that. Like she loved to cook for other people, and when it became a job, it wasn't a job. It was just something she did while she was awake, feeling good. And that took the depression out of life. When you have something to live for, drive, self-respect, and it all comes from someone else's consumption of a product that you can produce at a high quality, then that's what I learned to do with cannabis. Watching my mom go from being a business owner with a hotel, fishing lodge, restaurant, over to becoming a cannabis chef and being more successful as that. Like using the business sense taught me how to stop being a stupid stoner. Like all that stuff came into me maturing and looking at the plant through others' eyes.
Yeah. And the reason they needed that plant, to have a quality of life. And really it's about that quality of life, whether it's John, Tony, or myself, or anyone else out there that's sharing this information. We're trying to share it so that other people can find it and have a better quality of life. We're supposed to be interacting with our endocannabinoid system with this plant or plants like it that produce these cannabinoids. It's part of our DNA. It's part of the makeup of who we are. And most people don't even understand what's going on with this plant because it's been so demonized over the decades by people that wanted to control us and what we consume. And I'm so thankful that it has gotten out to much more wider audience globally, that we need those cannabinoids that this plant it has developed for us over thousands of years.
Fuck, I got pre-training in 6 minutes.
Pre-training?
What we do, get into pre-training. So as I accrue certain events, so it's time to rise. So we can get this right now, guys. It's called Time to Rise Summit. Will begin and it begins on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. This is 2 hours a day. It'll change your life. Ken knows what I'm talking about. So go to timetorisesummit.com. You can go to Tony Robbins. And it's a free 3-day, 2 hours a day. That's it. But it'll really put you towards your future, where you're looking at setting up that vision, setting up that growth, putting that goal down for your seeds, for your March, for your April, for planning things, putting an agenda together for it. This is a good time to rise and time to shine. This is your 2024. So grow your life. This is what this is about. This is about setting your goals in front of you and going towards them and seeing it. That's all I talk about, is that vision of where you can go. I would not be here today if it wasn't for you guys setting that vision forward. Ken set the vision. We have the channel. Yes. Yeah. Mr. Toad set a vision. Look at this, all the seeds he's got. Fucking awesome, Tony. What you do for everybody. And you do that for yourself by setting that vision, by moving forward. It's time to rise. It's time to rise and push through those limiting beliefs and become that amazing you.
Right on, Peter.
A quality of life right now. You are, Peter, because you're here. You're getting that. You got a tumor removed this week. That's because you're moving forward. And that pain, you get through that pain. You know? I did it with one push-up,
Yeah.
2 crunches. Pulled myself out of a wheelchair. You're doing the same thing by dealing with that because you made it public what you're doing. And you push through that. I just want to acknowledge you for saying thank you. You know that you have that in front of you. You can see that vision because we all get better and better. 20% of the problem, 80% of growth.
Yeah. Well, you look at Tony on this show, you know, did those first push-ups because of the inspiration that you shared, John, and he hasn't stopped. He's continued. He's gotten stronger, healthier, better.
You're getting rid of cortisol. You're getting dopamine hits. You're feeling better. What do you think peak state is? It's about setting that up, being in a peak state, feeling great every day, saying yes.
Yeah.
It's always awesome. Setting yourself up to win, growing for that future you, seeing what you can put down. Big respect. Much mad
And big
respect.
respect to you guys.
Yeah. You guys make it happen for you. You're planting that seed of growth. You're putting that foot out the door. You're making those decisions. Create a vision and let nothing ever get in your way. Other people's desires or other people's beliefs, they're not yours. They're theirs. Because life is about moments. Don't wait for them. Create them and grow them. It's kind of like I can't wait to plant another seed. See what direction I'm going to go. That time I'm going to do it outside. And if you think it's going to get some help.
Yeah.
I know what I can and cannot do now because my blueprint changed. No, sorry, my life condition, I changed my blueprint.
Yeah. And in an instant, just like that. And, you know, it's, you can change your aspect. You can change your mental attitude in an instant. You just have to do it.
To plant a seed.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's about planting those seeds. It's about planting that growth. It's about seeing that future you and where you're going. And it all starts with you. That's what I do.
Baby.
I could not preach what helps me so much, which is the cannabis community and you and pushing forward. And that growth, I've seen it. I've seen it over and over and over again when someone just gets that little joy. Because it's always a plant medicine that's taken them to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
It's that natural health. It's that breath work. It's those ice cold showers every day.
You're crazy. I still say you're crazy, okay? But when you wake up in the morning, you and only you decide what kind of day you're going to have.
It's your emotional
one or not.
What emotion are you putting behind that thought before you walk out the door?
Mm-hmm.
Because your emotional mind is your fuel of choice. Like I said, every morning, I use I use Supreme gasoline with an octane to boost, and I put a shot of nitrous in there to get me going every day.
That's the cold shower. That's the nitrous.
That's the nitrous. 4:45 a.m. ice cold shower. 4:20 a.m. out the door on my walk. 5 a.m. I'm blinded mastery. 5:30 I'm in a huddle. 6 o'clock I'm doing 42 group live. 7 o'clock I'm in AA. 8 o'clock I'm in leadership. 9 o'clock I'm in AI again. 9 till 10. Yeah, I block my days. Every day I do this. It's how I used to grow my weed. Every day at a block time. I went outside every morning at 7 a.m. Hit the water at 8. Do the double check. 9 o'clock. Boom. In. Do the video. That's why you saw so many videos over a decade. I had a system.
Yeah. Schedule.
Get the time block your schedule. Schedule your seed. Schedule that growth for 2024. Schedule it now. Write it down. I'm going to plant the seed here. It's going to go outside there. I'm going to grow my forward because I live in Canada and I'm allowed to because it is my right. Grow your for 2024 and say yes to your freedom.
Yes.
Oh. That's all I have to say about that right now.
And with that, guys, John has another event here starting in 30 seconds. So we're going to call it there, Tony. Love you, brother.
Much love, brother.
17 seconds. Sorry, you're right. I do. Thank you for reminding me. I got another event starting in 11.
Peace out, guys. We'll see you next Monday.
Peace.